What's going on YouTube? Claic Yuzolt here again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius banner review, this time for the Secret of Mana collab. Now I will tell you guys this, these units are only here for the 2 weeks that this banner is up. If you don't pull them here in the 2 weeks, they are gone, they are exclusive to this banner. So if you want them, get them now. If you're just a huge fan of the series and you definitely want them in your unit box, get them. But now we're going to go over the pros and cons of each character individually, and if I think you should use them and what situations they're good in. Alright, so our first unit we're going to talk about here is Popoy. I think I'm saying that correctly again. 3-star going to 5-star base, mage job here, and not the best unit, I don't think so, but we're going to go over the pros and cons here. The TM for Popoy is Fairy Wisdom, not Fair Wisdom. As it says above me here, I made some typos. I couldn't find the file again, so we're just going to have to deal with Fair Wisdom here. And it's going to be a, not the best TM. It gives you magic plus 25% and then MP plus 5% materia. Now, you may say, well, that's pretty good, but we already have Shantoto with the magic 30%, and you're probably going to have a lot more of her, making it easier for you to get the magic 30%. MP 5%, kind of good, but not really that great. So we're going to give this a mid-tier grade as something you may want to farm in the future, but it's coming off of a character who unit who is also, exclusive to the banner, so limited time only. Next up, let's talk about the pros of Popoy. Popoy has lots of elements, okay? Lots of elemental coverage here for Popoy. Can chain with a lot of them. Pretty good there. Another thing good about it is he has a stop chance on one of his abilities, and it's AoE. Now, it's a very small stop chance, but it still is a pro for him, trying to make him, a little bit stronger. And just like the other two units, a plethora of equipments that he can equip. He's got a very good options here to make sure you can make Popoy the best he can be. Now, let's talk about them cons. We're in trouble here. No dual cast for our boy Popoy. There's nothing there for him to dual cast. You'll have to put that TM on him, and it's definitely not worth it. He also has no access to a lot of August spells. Now, he does have like the Earth AoE spell, even though it's not the August spell. He has an Earth one, but everything else is pretty much single target or very weak. So, he's not really there. He's not really there as a mage is concerned. He's in a 5-star, max with no chance of getting a 6-star in my opinion, because he was only here for a limited time on this collab. So we're going to go to the ranking. And without further ado, this guy needs to go back to Hogwarts and learn what Wingardium Leviosa means. This guy is a booby prize. He is not something you want on your party. He does look very cool, but he's just not going to be there for you in the value of a character from this banner. Prim is the next unit we're going to talk about here, and Prim is a 4-star base going up to 6-star, which is pretty awesome for us in the 6-star meta. Prim is more of an attacker or support hybrid type character here, and the TM is Deep Thoughts. This TM is going to give you MP 30% and then Magic and Spirit plus 10%, guys. And the problem with this is, while the MP 30% is very good, there are just other materias out there that I think are going to be better served on your team as a whole. And so we're going to give this a mid-tier rating, where maybe in some cases you might want to pull this out, throw it on somebody because you need a lot of mana for a fight, but we have ways of getting our mana back. So in the end, I just think it's not going to be a materia that a lot of people are sought after or putting on their units. So mid-tier seems good to me. Now let's talk about the pros of Prim and what she can actually do. Prim can actually revive an ally. Prim can heal your team. Prim can boost your attack and magic up, your offensive stats up pretty well. Prim also has a lot of equipment she can equip, just like Popoy. And then on top of that, Prim actually can serve as an attacker on your team too. Like, she can do some attacks, she can do some damage. So she's not all the time just sitting there buffing and healing. She has the ability to turn the offensive, lasers on and actually do some damage. Let's talk about the cons of Prim really quick. Lots of hybrid damage. A lot of her damage is hybrid, which makes it kind of bad, because again, when hybrid is calculated, you take the monster's defense and spirit into account, and it makes it less, I would say less potent than your normal physical or magic attack. So anytime a hybrid skill is thought of, it's just not as powerful as a normal skill would be. So that's kind of a negative. Another negative is she has low attack and magic stats, because they're trying to split her up between the two cases here. And I also think a negative here, which I didn't write, is that she really doesn't heal as strong as maybe a Refia, a Tillith at 6-star, things like that would do. So in my opinion, Prim is more of a hybrid style support that you would want on your team, that can help with buffing, that can help with attacking, that can help with healing, but doesn't really do everything really well. And in this game, I think when we're building a meta team and we're not trying to get cute or fancy, Prim is just not going to fit the mold there. Prim's not going to be better than your Refias, your Santa Roselias. It seems like Prim is more for someone who doesn't have a character that's 6-star healer or a 6-star support yet. Someone who, you know, maybe doesn't really need a healer because Cecil is taking care of it as a tank maybe, and in a fight where you just want more damage, Prim could be there to help you out with that. So overall, without further ado, the ranking of Prim is Hybrid Waifu Fail. That's right, you want her. She looks awesome. She looks amazing, but she's still going to be a hybrid fail for you in my opinion. Again, most people already have better or will have better in the future, and I just don't see it happening with Prim. Randy is the big boy 5-star going to 6-star base on this banner. Randy is the hero of Secret of Mana. Randy is a physical damage dealer, and he's actually, you know, pretty decent at it after enhancements from JP, and we'll get into that later. Let's talk about the Mana Blade. That is his TM. It's going to give you 101 attack as a sword. It's going to give you defense 8, magic 8, and spirit 8, so, you know, a little bit of stats don't really, they're kind of like a peppering to make you a little bit stronger, and it's not as strong as the Moon Blade, but it's still a pretty okay sword. It's, you know, it'll get the job done when you need to put a sword on somebody like Luneth, Gilgamesh, or other units that need to have a sword mastery like Randy that'll proc if you're wielding a sword, maybe even Noctis. So we're going to give this a mid-tier to high-tier. I didn't really write high-tier here because it's still a mid-tier TM. You probably have other ones like Agrius or, you know, Excalibur, Deathbringer, things like that you might want to farm first. But it's still a sword, and if you didn't get the Moonblade from the other 6-star unit, you may want to farm this to proc those up. Let's talk about the pros of what's going on with Randy here, and we're going to talk about his multiple killer abilities. He has multiples of them, okay? And on top of that, the global exclusive abilities for him amp those up to even more. So he's doing even more damage to the killer abilities that he has. So he's going to be very good in the situations where you're fighting something like this. You know, Beast, Reaper, Demon, you know, all of those killer abilities he has, he's going to be able to go in there and do tons of damage to those targets. Another one is he has access to breaks. Now, they're not the best breaks, but anytime a character could bring something like that on top of everything else they bring, it's a little bit of support, makes a character a little more valuable, a little bit better when building a team comp around them. He also has the ability to negate damage. I think it's like a 15% chance, I could be wrong there, to negate physical damage done to him, period. So he's going to be able to knock off some physical damage to himself. That's another way to survive. That's another way to help your team out if he does get hit. He has lots of equipment options. Again, I know that keeps coming with these guys, but the Secret of Mana gang, they can equip whatever the heck they want, really. They have large equipment pools, large things. They can equip almost anything, so it's going to make it easier for you out there. If your equipment pool is small, you don't have very many options, these guys are going to be able to get strong quick with the, you know, the options that you do have. Now, I got to talk about my boy Randy a little bit bad here. We do have to look at the cons. Lacks AoE abilities. He really does. He really doesn't have too many AoE abilities. He's more of a single target killer, more of a, like, I'm going to kill the boss, and that's about it. He also has really no ability to chain very well right now. He didn't, you know, with the elements or anything like that, so he's not chaining with your mages, he's not chaining with your lightning very well, besides, you know, the normal chain and things like that. On top of that, his abilities actually don't have the highest of multipliers either. They're actually pretty bad, and that's what makes Randy kind of stay back. Now, in the global version, again, we did get the enhancements to his killer abilities, so I do think he's going to be very useful when going against the killer abilities he has to fight, because that is going to stack up with the killer abilities from, like, say, Ifrit for the Beast Killer, or other killer abilities like the Dragon Killer. You could slap that on him from, you know, the Friend Point TM, things like that. And let's talk about his enhancements in JP and why he's so high in the JP rankings. The reason he's so high in the JP rankings is, one of his enhancements on top of everything else we'll talk about specifically, is that he gets more attack when he's single wielding, okay? So they want you to single wield with this guy, Randy, and they want you to do the whole double hand, you know, combo in JP where it actually stacks. So that's Bart's TM, which is going to give you 50% more attack on everything you have equipped. So essentially, you're going to single wield with him, boost his attack up after enhancements, and then just stack a bunch of double hands on him and make his attack go through the roof. I think I saw some 1900, you know, attack stats, or sorry, excuse me, 19,000 or something like that. I can't remember. It was really, really high, guys. Randy could get really high in JP. Problem is, in global, you know, the double hand isn't stacking yet, or it's not stacking at all because it doesn't stack right now. So I don't know if they're going to change that or not, which is what's kind of hindering Randy here for me. Overall, we're going to give Randy the ranking of Monster Hunter. That's right. Randy's going to be pulled out of your box when you're going against one of his killer abilities, and you need a physical damage dealer on your team. Now, should you pull for Randy? In the case of if you really need a physical damage dealer and your team is lacking in that department, Randy can fill that role. Not the best, however. He's going to be like a mid-tier 6-star physical damage dealer, but in the end, you know, he could have his enhancements and they could change the double hand to stack, and then he becomes an all-star and a great unit. So after all that, guys, should you guys be pulling on the Secret of Mana banner? I'm going to say no. Popoy is not going to do much for anybody out there. Prim can fill a role for you in the fact that she could be a hybrid healer, damage dealer, buffer, but you probably already have better or you will get better. And then as far as Randy is concerned, he would be like maybe a really great pull if the double hand was stacking in global, but since it's not, he really is just a below average to average 6-star physical damage dealer, and he is also a 5-star base unit. So again, you're getting no value from the 3-star base. The 4-star base is minimal to low you know, what were we trying to say, or value, and then the 5-star base still, even if you pull him and it's a miracle, he's not changing your team in huge ways unless you're a new player. Which, again, that's why these reviews are kind of hard, right? Because I don't know what you're coming from. I'm trying to do the best I can for the general public. And the TMs aren't that good either. Let's talk about that. So, your value across the banner really isn't there. So, I would say no, save your tickets. We could be getting Orlando soon, and I keep saying that. And the problem with me keep saying that is, after Orlando, you know, we're going to talk about Onion Knight. And then after Onion Knight, we're going to talk about Cloud. And after Cloud, we're going to talk about Sephiroth. And it's just going to keep going and going, but I'm trying to do the best I can for you guys so you guys can enjoy this game and become as OP or as happy as you can be. If you love the Secret of Mana banner, pull for him. Be happy. Pull what you want. Do some research into Randy. Make him as strong as you want. I'm thinking Popoy needs to go learn a couple of things. You know, he needs to learn Avada Kedavra, maybe kill a couple of people. But besides that, not very much value here. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you feel about Secret of Mana. And if you think they'll change the double hand here in Global, and subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys later.